ensure God power. Get everything you ever wanted and live the life of your dreams. The Master's Course. Copyright 2010 by Richard Lee McKim Jr. All rights reserved. Let the quest for knowing begin. Okay, let's have a look at this illustration. Here we've got a picture of the universe. Big black area with lots of stars. And there's a tiny, tiny little dot. Tiny little dot. In fact, it's so tiny you couldn't even see it. So the dot here on the screen is actually bigger. Now, here it says, you are here. Now, it's expanded so you can see that that tiny little dot is a brain. Now at the top here it says your mind has access to everything in the universe. Now notice it says mind. It doesn't say brain. It says your mind has access to everything in the universe. But you, with your brain, which is that tiny little speck in the universe, tiny little speck, like a dust speck. And then it says down here, but your brain only has access to what you have learned personally. So when you think with your brain, or you think that you're thinking from your brain, then the only thing you have access to is only what you have learned personally. And the only abilities you have are the abilities that a physical brain has been discovered to have, which is very limited. You can't just go look at Jupiter because you want to with a physical brain. Only those people who know that they're thinking from their mind can do things that a mind can do that a brain can't. You see, your mind has access to everything in the universe. There isn't anything in the universe you can't know from your mind. But from your brain, what do you know? Nothing in comparison. That's nothing. But you learned some things in school, you've had some experiences in life, and you were born with some information. That's all you got. And if you think you're thinking from your brain, that's all you'll ever have. But when you realize that you can think from your mind, and you start transferring your thinking to your mind, and you say to yourself, I'm thinking from my mind, therefore, beliefs and meanings, I have access to everything in the universe, any ability and every ability I can think of, and I can have access to any information or knowledge that I want in the universe. It doesn't have to be something I already know. Then guess what? Because of your beliefs and meanings, you now have access to all of that. So when your beliefs and meanings are all you know is in the brain, then all you know is what you've personally experienced. And it's not even in the brain, by the way. You think it's in the brain, but that's not even in the brain. It's just a little area partitioned aside as to what experience you've personally had. Okay? So when you're thinking that you're thinking from the brain, you're thinking from that small little folder, that small little pool of personal experience, and that's all you have access to. But when you say, hold it, I can think from my mind, that's where it's all going on anyway. The moment you decide to do that, then you have access to everything that there was, everything there ever will be, everything in the universe. It's all yours. It's all there. It's all possible. So when you think from the brain, very limited. In fact, if your brain has got a problem, then you're even more limited. But if you think from your mind, You're unlimited. It's like the people seeing. When they see with their eyes, or they think that they're seeing from their eyes, or they think that they can only see from their eyes, then they can only see what's in front of them when their eyes are open. But when you think that you're seeing from your mind, you're seeing in a different way, then you can see into people, you can see through things, you can see anywhere in the universe. On those remote viewing experiments, they would have a closed box, like a shoebox, with some things in it. And it would be somewhere across the world, in some room on a table, and they would ask somebody, go there in your mind and take a look in that box and tell me what's in there. And guess what? They could tell you what was in that box. You can't do that with your eyes. And if you think you're seeing with your eyes, then you can't do that. So what I'm trying to tell you is, expand your ability by thinking from your mind. And the moment you know that you can think from your mind, then that's the moment that you know you have access to everything. And if you know by beliefs and meanings, your beliefs and meanings, that you have access to everything, you do. Okay, let's continue. When you begin to imagine and decide that you are thinking from your mind instead, then you have unlimited possibilities. There will be things that you can do and know that your brain cannot and does not have the ability to, quote-unquote, represent. Take a moment and think about what you have learned in your life and everything that you know and are able to do. Notice that it all conforms to what our brain is supposed to be able to think and do. Is there anything that you know that you have not personally learned from your own life experience? No, there is not. How could there be? The brain, that is, your brain, can't have anything in it that you didn't put there. This is kind of like a computer. It only has in it what you put in it, and that's all. Now, think about what else there is to know in the universe. What kinds of things and abilities are possible in the universe? If you gave it some serious thought, you would realize that anything and everything that you can imagine and everything that you cannot is not only possible, but it is probable. There are things that your brain cannot know and cannot do. There is so much information and know-how in the universe that if you lived 1 billion lifetimes just learning, you wouldn't be able to have even a small portion of it in your brain. This is also kind of like your computer. If you think about all the information and programs that are available in the world today, and then multiply that times itself in a geometric fashion, you would still not come close to all that is possible to know and do. There is no way that your computer could ever have all the information in its hard drives, in its stored memory, or running in its processor or brain. But you wouldn't want it all anyway. You don't want to have to learn everything in the universe just in case you need it later. That is how the brain operates, or should I say, represents itself. You learn a whole bunch of stuff, and later, if you need it, you have it. But if you need something else, you don't have it.
To continue, go to How to Use Your God Power, Chapter number 10, Segment number 69. Let your quest for knowing continue.